Hi, everybody. I want to go over the week 9 assignment on using SIRS to do research. There will be a link in the week 9 assignments, but we can also get to it by going to content, going to Unit 3, and clicking on the assignment details. We will skip the group summary review and go down to the next assignment, which is using SIRS to explore the issue. And what we're going to do in this assignment is to go into SIRS and find an article on a particular topic, and then explore the timeline in SIRS and see how that information can give you a little more perspective on the particular issue you are researching. So in this assignment, there is a sample so that you can see how this assignment looks like, and also the actual worksheet that you'll be filling in. And this is what you'll be submitting for the assignment. There's also some instructions on the process within the assignment, which is to go to SIRS, find a topic on the leading issues page, review the contents, the viewpoints, the critical questions, and look at the timeline. You're asked to look at various articles, but in order to complete this assignment, you will need to read one of them, and that will be called the original article on the worksheet. You're going to look at the timeline and see if you can identify different perspectives on this issue within the timeline. So different people or groups of people that would have some interest in this topic and perhaps give different perspectives on it. So before we go into the worksheet and look at the specifics, let's go into SIRS and look at how this will be done. So of course, to get to SIRS, go to the MyDTC page where you would click on the Resources tab, and then SIRS is at the right side toward the bottom of the library databases. Once you're on the home page, you can see the various topics. In order to make this assignment as helpful and close to what we're doing with our English 101 work in Unit 3, I would like to restrict you to a few choices. We'd like your topic choice to be limited to something relevant to what you read in English 101, which was how social media can be biased through misinformation or bias. So while you could find, there's a social media topic right here, what we would really want to do is go down to the subject areas and choose communication and technology. Within that, you will have several topics that you could use that would be relevant to what we're doing. One of them is the social media. Another one is digital media. Another one is cyberbullying. And the final one is media bias. Now, some of the other topics do have something to do with the internet or social media in some way or another. They're not quite close enough to make sense for this assignment. So please restrict yourself to one of those 4 topics. So I'm going to just click on the social media topic. So here you can read a summary of what this issue is about. You can see the question, you can see the 2 different viewpoints, and you can see articles on either side of the issue. You're also going to want to look down at the social media timeline. Actually, the critical questions would be another item to look at. And then the timeline. And you'll be needing to choose groups or individuals that are mentioned on the timeline that would have a particular interest in this topic or a particular perspective. Keep in mind that the timeline, you may have to click View Full Timeline to see the whole thing. And so you're going to want to look at the timeline and see what it says relevant to this issue and see if you can pick out some groups or individuals or kinds of people that would be interested in this topic. Okay, let's go back to the assignment details and look at the worksheet. So, the first question is, what is the claim of the original article? So, again, the original article is going to be whichever article, let's see, let me go back here. It's whichever article you choose, either viewpoint 1, viewpoint 2, it doesn't matter. You're encouraged to look at several of them, but you will need to read one of them, and you'll need to be able to tell us the overall claim of that article. So I recommend picking from either one of the 3 on viewpoint 1 or one of the 3 on viewpoint 2. So you'll write that out. The next question says, include a screenshot of a recent section of the timeline. And this should be the section of the timeline that you're using to pick out your groups or your different perspectives. So looking at the timeline, once you find the spot where you really would be using that information, so maybe let's say it's this section here, you're going to need to take a screenshot, and different computers are slightly different, but most of them have a print screen button on the keypad. Sometimes you have to hit function print screen. Sometimes you can just hit print screen. But there is a way that you can take a picture of what is on the screen of your computer. So I'm going to hit function print screen. And then right here on the worksheet, I'm going to paste that. And now you see there's my screenshot. Now mine, I have 2 monitors, so it did both. That's fine, as long as I can tell that you do have a screenshot. Once it's there, you can adjust it. You can make it bigger. In fact, maybe that's a good way to get rid of that second screen, is just for me to make it a little bigger so that I, as your instructor, can see that timeline. All right, then the next question says, fill out the table below to indicate some potential groups of people who are affected by or involved in the issue. And that hopefully will be coming from your timeline. So here you would identify each group, and then you would answer questions. Now you're using your critical thinking skills to answer these questions. You don't have to do additional research to find out more about them, but based on your knowledge of this issue and what it says on the timeline, you know, why would this group be involved in this issue? And what is likely to be their position on this issue? And compared to the article that you read, would this group agree with that article or disagree with it, or maybe be a little bit in between? And then the last one is, what would be a question you'd like to ask that group, again, pertinent to this issue? So you'll fill those questions out for both groups. And, you know, again, explain your meaning. So, you know, if you say, how is this group involved? Make sure you explain enough that I can clearly see that involvement. So answer the questions using complete sentences, and then that's the end of the worksheet. So you'll be answering those questions, you'll be putting in the screenshot, you'll be reading one article and putting in the claim. To help me out, if you would please put the information from the article so I know which article you read, that would be extremely helpful. So let's say that you did this one. So if you could give me that reference information, that would be really helpful. If you want to do it in a reference format, that would be great. Otherwise, just author, title, year, or date, full date, and publication. But if you wanted to do it as a reference, this one would be last name, comma, his first initial, and then this was in March, April of 2021. And then the title was When Shame Goes Viral. And it was from Discover magazine. And then that's all you'd have to put since it's coming from SIRS. So if I have those 4 pieces of information, that would be very, very helpful. And then, of course, if you would explain the author's overall claim, and then, of course, fill that in. All right, and when you're all done with that document, then at the top of the assignment is the link where you can go to upload your document. If you're doing a OneDrive, you use Choose Existing. So you would upload that document. And again, you have a sample that you can look at to kind of see how the answers could be done and what it looks like. All right, hopefully that will help you with this assignment.